And we're live.
Well, hello everybody. This is Dr. Alan Weinstein with my co-host Dr. Randi Ross, and welcome to another episode of Building Your Wellness Brand Within Your Community. Today's episode is brought to you by Epic Consulting, making sure your electronic presence is all it needs to be. And Community Wellness Day. Every great opportunity begins with the first step. Take that step with Community Wellness Day. And this system, the official marketing program of healthcare practitioners everywhere, and the VIP app, the only application that allows you to bring your live hangouts, just like this one, to the desktop, smartphones, and tablets of all the people that are following you. Our apps are so good, people are going to want to lick them. And a new program just released, Google in 10 Minutes. This is a step-by-step guide for all things Google for your business. You can find out more about that at tinyurl.com/Google in 10. We have a great show for you today. A special guest, Bruce Inouye, the new method of building your business online. In 1993, Bruce started P2 Events, special event production and marketing company for large corporations. He has produced corporate meetings, trade shows, multi-state seminars, award banquets, and booked and produced national and international entertainment for casinos and large corporations. He has managed over 60 blogs for others and started 4 for himself. Some of his clients include Bank One, USAA Insurance, Wells Fargo, Gila River Casinos. These casinos keep popping up here, Bruce.
They do.
Yeah, Arizona Federal, General Motors, and Luke Air Force Base, just to name a few. In 2010, Bruce started Crush 5 Media in answer to more custom online marketing needs. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host. Here's Dr. Randi.
Well, thank you, Dr. Allen. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us today. We have a great guest for you, as Dr. Allen just lined up. And Bruce and I met through someone that we had in common in business, and I just thought that he had great energy. I love his ideas, very hard worker, very innovative. So we wanted to bring him on and have him share his thoughts and ideas to help you grow your business. So without any further ado, we're going to bring Bruce on for you. Hey, Bruce, how are you?
Hey everybody.
Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome.
So, Bruce, tell us a little bit about, we always ask people to say why they'd be considered an authority on business growth. And tell us a little bit, just a minute or two,
Sure.
Why you're considered an authority in this area and have something of value to offer.
It's kind of funny because I never thought I would be the expert, and when I found out more and more people were contacting me to ask questions about how I produced events or how I brought meetings together and everything, I guess I kind of fell into it, kicking and screaming, because I just wanted to do my job back then as far as marketing and doing special events. So what happened was that after I was hired to produce events, I started out as a destination management company originally. Basically, what that entails is looking for a location, like a hotel, a venue, or a city, if you will, for a seminar, for an executive retreat, or a manager's meeting that's a national company that has maybe 3,000 people that will attend. Well, with that experience, it didn't take long for me to really expand what I did from just booking hotels. It ended up to be going into audiovisual, to catering, to signage. Then it ended up to be marketing. So about maybe 4 years, I started my special event career in 1993. So I've never looked back since then. So from that point on, it only took about maybe 2 years, and after that, people were starting to hire me as a consultant, say, hey, Bruce, you did this or that event. Can you show me, or can you do for us what you did, so that, because we liked what you've done and we liked how it turned out. Can you show us how we did that? So basically, I just kind of stumbled into becoming the expert, if you will, of doing it, because it was just repetitious things. There was a routine that was starting to form as far as how I use a checklist to start the process. My Rolodex of sources, everything from makeup people to stagehands to general managers of hotels and whatnot. So that's what brought me full circle to the point where I could be hired to do anything and to fit into anything for a special event. And years later, when I ended up going into the online marketing arena, it was the same thing. It was taking the elements of, well, how do you go online? How do you set up an email account? How do you do an opt-in box to make your website come alive? That kind of thing. So those two things kind of parallel each other, and that's what made me come to the point where I am today, where I'm spending like 100% of my time now helping small to medium-sized businesses get some traction online, mainly online. I do a lot of offline consulting, but mainly right now, Dr. Randi, my arena is in online marketing assistance, and that's what brings me full circle to that. So since 2010 now, I've been deeply involved in helping businesses get more online presence, and I guess 4 years in dog years, I guess must be maybe 20 years. I don't know. But that's what brought me to right now.
In marketing, I think 4 years is like 100 years. So
yeah, it does feel that way.
So we're going to talk about building your business online marketing, but because you deal with a lot of different kinds of companies, what do you think, especially as your niche is now the small to medium-sized business, what do you think are the 3 biggest obstacles that really stand in the way of people having the success that they want to have?
I will tell you right now, and this has been consistent, so I know that these are the top 3. The top 3 would be they don't plan. We're talking about the obstacles now. They don't plan. Because I have a customer right now that I just was dealing with just before I came on board on this webinar right now. They didn't plan, so there's the issue there. Second thing is they don't keep promises. Now, it's not that they don't intend to keep the promises, but because they don't plan and they don't kind of keep aware of the direction that they want to go with their business, whether it's marketing or growing their business or hiring somebody, that tends to kind of fall the wayside. They don't keep their promises. That's very important. And the third thing that I think holds everybody back, the big obstacle, is a closed mind. I just got a client on board this past February that was just arms tight, kicking and screaming, I don't want to go online. I'm old school, Bruce. I do the postcards, I do the TV, the radio, the print. I'm still, check this out, they're still paying $10,000 a month for Yellow Pages.
Oh,
I mean, talk about not having an open mind, okay? So that's, to me, they're on the road to destruction. They're not going to exist probably in another couple of months right now. So again, the 3 things are the businesses don't plan, they don't keep their promises, and they have a closed mind. If you can open up those 3 areas, then you have a great foundation with which to build to go forward. And at that point, you're probably going to need to touch base with somebody who can coach you, because from that, especially the closed mind, because the online way of doing things right now, to me, it's the same thing as old school. It's this, if everybody has heard about Ogilvy and Mather as far as the way to advertise back then, we're talking about the 1960s now. Now we're dating me. But we're taking the principles that have worked back then, but we're just putting them on a different platform, which is basically online. So we're just kind of updating it and switching the platform, because everything that I've learned back in the 70s when I was going to college, the marketing hasn't changed. Marketing is, person to person, getting to know somebody, getting to know, like, and trust. That's what it is. It's never changed from that. But the platform where it sits on now is online, and that's the big difference right now.
Well, I think that you said a couple of really important things. First of all, you said the thing that I learned, which is know, like, and trust, that you have to have relationships with people. That's, that's pretty much my mantra. But what I want you to talk a little bit about is talk about how you said about planning. What do you think? Because I think this is something that sometimes even successful people fail to do. So.
Yes.
I want you to give me kind of an idea of, what's a plan that you go through with someone. Like, what are just a general broad outline of how you plan, for a process to grow your business?
Sure. The first thing before I even plan anything for either myself or for anybody else is the purpose. Very first thing we need to do is the purpose, because without the purpose, then we didn't know at the back end of this event, when we do our what I call the post-mortem. We do the recap after the event's over, or the marketing plan or whatever, the campaign, is the purpose. Why did we go in to do something before we even plan it out? Why are we doing this? So it's the purpose. Why does a business exist? Why does a doctor practice what he or she does? There's a lifelong internal type of desire to help people. I think all businesses have this common goal. We want to help somebody, okay? Whether it's providing a service or a product, it's the same thing. But something that goes deeper than that before the planning process is the purpose. So once you have the purpose, then you can start the planning. And what I have back in my bookcase shelf behind me is I have two booklets that are templates, and I've composed them on Microsoft Word. And basically what it is it's a checklist. Before I have my purpose, I want to make sure I get my checklist in order, and then figure out the purpose. Why are we doing this campaign, or why are we rolling out this promotion, or why are we rolling out the business? And then I get a checklist together. The checklist doesn't have to be more than 2 pages. If you go beyond that, you go to the minutia and you're just diluting your ideas and everything. I don't do any more than 2 pages, and it's got to be double lined, so I see space between it, because I want to make sure that I compartmentalize the ideas that I have on planning between each thing that I have. And when you plan it out, the first thing that you should do is connect that purpose. Okay, so why am I planning this campaign, or this idea, or this plan, or rollout? And when you start the first item on that, it really should be to clarify how you're going to communicate this to your customers, your target market, internally, the employees, internally, the stockholders, the ownership group. I'm dealing, earlier this morning, I was dealing with the ownership group of one of my clients, and they knew all what I was doing, but they didn't know why I was doing it. I'll give you a really good example of this morning. I'm setting up a live remote appearance by a local TV station here. They don't understand why I'm doing that. They just know that they hired me to market an event that's going to happen this coming Saturday. But they said, well, why do we need, a live remote? Because live remotes, I don't know if you understand, for most of you out there that understand this, but when you hire a local TV station to come out in the morning, when you hire a live remote, they usually come in the morning. Your event is not usually till later on in the day. So a little dynamic that's involved in this that the client doesn't understand is that, okay, I have to stage a little bit of the event prior to the actual event happening. So part of the planning process now, if I set up a live remote from a TV station to come there with their cameras, and they kind of joke around with us, and we get this free publicity on TV. It's free, by the way, if you can get their attention. But part of the planning process and part of the purpose process is that, okay, we have to recreate a little part of this event before it happens later on in the day, so that we can promote this event and communicate to our target audience before the event actually happens. And so explain the purpose on the live remote. Now they understand, and now they don't mind opening up their doors, their retail doors, before they actually open, before the event happens, because they think that if we just bring, live TV over, well, it should be when the event starts. No. When we plan and we have the purpose of promoting this for the live hours that it's going to appear, we need to plan in advance, and then that's part of my checklist as far as actually, unveiling the actual function of the event. So the planning process is really important. The purpose and the planning. The third thing that I'd like to bring up is execution. Okay, so that's the last thing. And without execution, of course, to me, everything blows up, because you have to have everything lined up, whether it's your outsourcers, your temp employees, registration people, and I'm talking event-wise. Whenever you're talking events, you want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. You have, if you have a lead coordinator, you want to make sure that you have a right-hand man, woman, first lieutenant, so to speak, to help finish up the items that maybe the lead coordinator or planner has not finished. And the execution of that is part of it is to keep your promise, as I spoke before, to keep your promise that the event or the marketing plan or whatever that you're talking about is going to go as planned. And that's kind of like it in a nutshell.
Well, as you said, a couple of things there that definitely resonated with me, and I kind of equate being able to communicate, like you said, to the people that are hiring you while you're doing what you're doing, and introducing a little teaser so people are there when they're supposed to be. It's almost like for everyone watching this in the Hangout Live, why we put trailer videos in. So when you come here, you know a little bit about what it is, and I call them teasers. That's my terminology. And I think the other thing, you know, that you said that I think is so important, and actually put those three messages on our Google event page that we're looking at it, you know, is communicating the message properly. And I think so often, so many of us don't understand who the target market is. And we often, I almost feel sometimes we advertise to ourselves. And I know this is something that chiropractors, Dr. Allen would agree with me, are very often guilty of. You know, we communicate and market, for lack of a better term, in a way that we think everybody understands what we understand and knows what we know, and you know, it's not even about being over someone's head. It's just not even on their radar. And I think that that's often a big mistake that people make, and I think that that's so important. You know, it's kind of like if you're watching TV, and this just happened with my daughter the other day. We were watching a show, and this commercial came on, and I looked at her and I went, I have no idea what that commercial was for. I don't even understand the product. And what they did, like, totally didn't even make any sense to me. Now, maybe that's the ultimate goal, that they got me talking about the commercial, totally not understanding anything, but that wouldn't work to me as a consumer. So I think that, you know, communication, understanding your target market, and realizing that your target doesn't know what you know. So don't market for you, okay? You already know that what you have is great and that everybody should have it and hire you. You know, the others don't. So always keep that in mind. And I see Dr. Allen brought himself back and unmuted himself, which means he has the floor.
There you go. Well, I'm going to start backwards a little bit. Execution. I, too, have had many clients that I wanted to execute. So I totally agree with that. But going back to purpose and message, one of the great challenges, I think, and I'm going to ask you how you go about doing this, but I find that a lot of clients don't even really know their purpose or don't even really know their message, and so it's so difficult not only for them to convey it to the audience, but they have a difficult time conveying it to the people that work for them, and so no one really knows the direction the company's going in. And I think what separates the great leaders, the great CEOs, and the great companies is the ability to bring a message first and foremost to the people that they work with before they go into the public and try to bring that message. Do you find that, and how do you go about getting them focused on target for what their message really is?
Oh, wait. Bruce, you got to unmute yourself. I muted you because I was hearing some reverb over there.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Boy, Dr. Allen, I'm glad you brought that up. I've been dealing with General Motors. I dealt with Audi. These were for large ride and drive events. These are multi-billion-dollar corporations, okay? And Dr. Allen, what you brought to the top, the surface here, is even the multi-billion-dollar corporations in the sub-departments of the departments that I have to deal with, they have no clue, okay? Now, I'm not slapping General Motors or any of those companies for that. It's an internal issue that they have. The particular departments, the sub-departments that I'm dealing with in these multi-billion-dollar corporations, they don't know what purpose is. All they know is they're taking directions from the higher-ups, and all they know is that they have a budget to do something with it. And then at that point, they really don't care what happens to the money or how it gets spent sometimes. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes they're just trying to dump their fourth quarter budget. And so when that happens, and I'm not saying, you know, that I'm not pointing any fingers at any particular company that they're trying to just waste money and dump money at the fourth quarter, but a lot of these big companies that I dealt with, they have to allot and push the money out before the year's out of what they budget at the beginning of the year. So what happens now? That puts them in desperation mode. Okay, they have to pick somebody like me, and they have to pick another vendor or whatever the case be to give this event to, but it's like, okay, here, Bruce, go ahead and do it. And I said, well, can you give me some direction? Can we meet so that we can get the purpose of what you're trying to achieve on this? And at that point, it's like, no, we just want to have this as a trade show to bring brand and awareness to 1,000 clients or whatever, and just go ahead and get it done. So they're not sharing in the purpose. So now I have to kind of make up kind of like the mission for them, and in a sense kind of have them own that, but I'm the one that actually created it. Ultimately, it was supposed to be their responsibility to create that, the purpose, so that I can follow up with the execution, the planning and the execution of it. But I'm with you, Dr. And I would like to execute some people too that I dealt with in planning process. But yeah, that's the problem. It's very problematic, especially fourth quarter for large corporations. You might get inundated with a particular group of industries that just say, hey, Bruce, I'm calling you up. We have a special event, or we have a marketing project we need done. We need it done in 3 weeks. There's not much time to talk about the details, but this is what we want, and that's it. So that's when a big chunk element of that event is missing, and I think you hit it right on the head about that. But if I have I guess I call it the necessity, but they call it the luxury. If we had the luxury of maybe 30 to 40 to 60 to 90 days out of a campaign, then we have time to fulfill the purpose, to do the planning, to do the execution, and also importantly is when we do the post-mortem, when we do the recap at the end of it, do we want to repeat it again, and how can we tweak it to make it even better? Once I get a client that can kind of go in a circular fashion where we're kind of repeating what we've just done, then it becomes 1,000% successful on the second round of whatever campaign or marketing plan or whatever that we do. That's the overall purpose I have, is that let's plan it out, let's execute it, and then let's make it better the second time around. And then at that point, it's down to a science. Then we have all our ducks in a row, and everybody's happy, including the patients or the customers or the clients are very happy at that point.
Yeah, I just want to jump in one last time on that. And I think what you said is really, Bruce, very, very important, because I think what a lot of companies don't realize is this. You might be their event planner. You might be someone who's putting together this brand awareness or whatever media that you need to. And it turns out that you, who's the outsider, becomes the mirror for the company, and they develop focus, which makes your job so important, which I think a lot of times people don't really appreciate the role that you play. And in reality, you should be getting paid so much more than some of the people that are actually internally, because you become the glue that gets the company on track. It's amazing.
Well, that's I think we probably all find ourselves in situations when we do a little more work than we probably signed up for initially or thought we were going to do. But Bruce, I know you're an online business building expert, as we called you. Give our viewers a few tips. In other words, today, what do you think are really the most critical things? Because there's so many different pieces that people can choose from. Obviously, everybody needs a website. We know that. But everybody kind of, I guess, picks and chooses a little bit of where they want to focus. What do you think the most effective places are today as far as to grow your business?
Sure. I'm gonna take the words off of marketing expert Jay Abraham. I'm a very big avid fan of his. He states the 3 ways to grow your business is to, number 1, increase the number of clients, or in your case, increase the number of patients. Number 2, increase the average transaction of each purchase from your patients. And number 3, increase the frequency of purchases from your patients. So I live and die by that. I'm a big Jay Abraham fan, going down to like 20 years ago. in order to achieve those things, and I have a couple of medical medical clients. I have 5 dentists. I have 1 holistic doctor, and I have 1 naturopathic health expert in my clientele. So you know, when I talk right now, you probably can relate to this. But the first thing that I would recommend as far as online marketing would be email marketing. You know, right now, as always, online marketing, if you just ran a business online with just a website, it's all email list. I mean, you're going to live and die by your list. Because once you do a front-end sale off of a sales page, and once you get the opt-in, then after that you either sell your back-end products or you sell as an affiliate. So, and that's true even in the medical field too, because you want to get referrals. You want to give friendly reminders to your patients to say, hey, you know, you're on your 6-month checkup. You know, you haven't come back to us in a while. We want you back. We miss you. You know, you can send kind of like maybe a "we miss you" postcard type of a promotion. I've just done that for a pet store where they had like a 1.5-year inactive email list. So what I asked them for, I said, hey, how would you like to make money out of thin air? And they said, well, how do we do that? And I said, well, I understood that you have an email list. And they said, yes. I said, do you have an email list segmented by buyers who haven't bought maybe in 12 months? And they said, yes. I said, can you even go further back than that? And they said, yes. So they, this past February, they had a list that was about 1.5 years old. So I started with that list, and I said, how many do you have? And they said they have about maybe 1,500. And the list that was 1 year old, they said that's about 3,500. I don't know. You figure that out, why it's, you know, bigger than that one. But anyways, I did 2 mailings, and we did a "we miss you" type postcard. Now this is to the buyer list. Okay, these people were either 12 months old or 1.5 years old, and we've got about a 45% response rate, which brought them back in to these retail outlets. And then we put them on we segment them and we put them in a current buyers active list now, and so they're back on board. Basically, what happened to those is that their clients either moved away, or maybe they just dropped, you know, out of just maybe buying that product or service, or maybe they just procrastinated, or maybe their personal lives, maybe they got divorced and they got remarried, or whatever, you know, something in their personal lives have changed, and now this is what happened. So you could do something as simple as putting out an email campaign to what we call an inactive list or a lapsed customer list. And I'm talking about no less than 12 months old. And you can actually reactivate and bring those back. I guarantee you, you will bring back at least 15 to maybe 20% more business coming back that way. So that's just one online marketing way of doing things. Another way, as far as increasing the average transaction, is that I would say, again, using the email campaigns, is to add maybe other ancillary services at discount, or maybe 2 for 1, or, you know, maybe we're going to 4th quarter here, so maybe it's the end of the year blowout sale of whatever that chiropractor might have as far as sales. Maybe it's a 3 for 1, or maybe it's you refer one chiropractic patient to us, and we'll give you 2 of your next visits for half price or for free or something of that sort. I don't mean to come across that you're trying to be like a P.T. Barnum of chiropractic, but there has to be like a tactful way of trying to bring some nice promotions and keeping that. Here's the thing that Jay Abraham says: if you condition your tribe to these promotions that you have, now we don't want to we don't want to give them, we don't want to bombard them with promotions, but some meaningful promotions that your patient client base will understand that, hey, you really care about me. Those kinds, whether it could be a consultation that goes across into another product or service that that particular chiropractor has, that would work out perfectly. But what you want to do is that you want to condition your patients for promotions. So it could be maybe 1 promotion a month, or it could be maybe one promotion every other month for the chiropractors that feel, hey, I'm being too salesy about this. But if you don't do it at all, then you're losing out. You're leaving money on the table. So, again, number two, as far as what Jay Abraham says, is increase the average transaction. The average transaction per transaction. That's how you can do that. You want to increase the average transaction per patient by actually promoting or adding some additional type of service, or maybe a discount, or maybe a freebie of some kind that would, and basically that helps too to retain the current customers that you have too. And the very last thing that I'm making a webinar on my own here that I'm going to be putting out just after Thanksgiving is increasing the frequency of purchases. So in other words, if a patient comes maybe twice a week to a chiropractic office, don't think that it's not too much for that particular patient. You might want to think of maybe a third visit per week on maybe a non-chiropractic manipulation visit, but could it be something else? It could be aromatherapy, or, in other words, the chiropractor can kind of partner up with maybe another kind of holistic type of teacher or doctor, or a specialist or whatever, that can team up with the chiropractor. I always love this. This is when I brainstorm my clients. Why don't they team up with another type of expert that complements the type of service that the service or product that they do, without being in direct competition with them? Because there is success in numbers. If you have a complementary service or a product that's provided by an associate of yours that works inside of your same industry, that's how you can exponentially actually grow your business and grow your email list and grow your patient customer base all at the same time. So I hope I'm making some sense in that.
Yeah, I mean, I use a little different terminology, but it means the same thing. I call that increasing your marginal net worth. That's learning how to make more for what you already have. Dr. Allen, do you have a comment in here? I see you want to.
Yeah, I just want to add something to what Bruce said, and I think this goes along with what Jay also teaches, and that is one of the things you have to be careful about is what I call the Macy's syndrome, that you promote sales so much that no one wants to shop in your store unless you have a sale, and as a consequence, you're decreasing your own return because you literally have programmed your customer to wait for a sale. So you always have to be careful about that. The second thing is that studying the healthcare business for 30 years and doing marketing for hundreds of those people, that one of the challenges are that there are notoriously about 8 reasons that a patient stops coming to your clinic. 2 of them you have no control over. One is that they owe you money, and of course, if they owe you enough money, they're never coming back. The second one is you didn't make them better, potentially you made them worse. But the other 6 reasons that they leave, they usually leave with a good experience, and they do not come back because you stop connecting with them. They really are depending on you to keep that connection going. And like you said, somebody has a 1.5-year-old list, a year list. They're the ones who disconnected from the patient. So you need to, on a regular basis, be consistent with quality content, whatever it might be, to keep that patient engaged so that they don't disappear, because it's mostly the doctor that disappears rather than the patient actually disappearing.
That's a really great point, Dr. Allen. I don't think I ever really would have looked at it that way. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I think that probably a lot of people are guilty of, and this all comes back to the plan again, right, Bruce? We're back to the plan. If you don't have the plan of what your marketing campaigns are going to be, which theoretically they should be 6 months, a year out probably, so that you're not scrambling at the last minute or forgetting or having these gaps or, really losing touch with people. And then I think it really, a lot of that comes full circle to the plan. Well, Bruce, we're just about out of time, but I do want to give you, a minute or two to kind of, give us your closing thoughts. And I know you probably had a lot more to talk about, and we can have you back as 2015 rolls around and share some more thoughts. So unmute yourself and share some of your last thoughts with us.
Sure. Yeah. First of all, thank you, Dr. Allen, Dr. Randi, for having me on board. I really appreciated this opportunity. Um, Dr. Randi, you know that I also facilitate my own Google Hangouts too, and hopefully, if when I get a new computer, I'll be probably more equipped to handle this. But anyways, yeah, there's two things I want to bring to light on this, especially for the chiropractors out there. Number one, by any of the chiropractors that are coming to this webinar, and I'm talking to you right now, you have the greatest advantage right now of hearing what all of us are talking about right now, because I've gone into chiropractic offices to try to show my services and what I can offer for them. And this is up till even just about 2 weeks ago. I walked into a neighborhood chiropractic office. They had shut me down. They in the chiropractic niche, when I'm on the street, and I'm because I love to make new friends and the businesses on Main Street all the time. Most of the chiropractors, just about all the chiropractors, say they have it taken care of. Well, this is how they have it taken care of, because I ask them these questions. Do you have a website? No. What's your email? Oh, it's a Yahoo address. Have you done any penny pincher advertisements? No. So how do you get your customers or your patients? And they said, well, word of mouth, and we pass flyers out and that kind of stuff. And I said, oh, okay. Well, to me, the chiropractic field, as well as all the other medical professionals out there, they have not a clue. Attorneys as well. They have no clue about business or marketing. So by the chiropractors attending Dr. Randi's and Dr. Allen's webinars here, I feel that you folks have a great advantage of learning these things, and then all you need to do is just execute these things, and you will be light years ahead of all the other chiropractors in your neighborhood, your city, your state. You will be so far ahead of them, it won't even be silly. So that's one thing that I want to bring to attention, is that pay attention, come back to Dr. Randi and Dr. Allen's webinars a lot, because you're going to be light years. All you need to do is execute on the ideas that you're learning from them. The last thing that I want to bring to the surface here is what I call the Socratic method of marketing. And what that basically means, for those of you who know Alex Mendozian out there, he is an online marketer extraordinaire. What he states is the most successful marketers ask questions. Socratic marketing is asking questions. So if you have an email list, what I suggest you do right now, this is one simple thing that right now is not going to cost you any money, but it's going to make you more money right now. Send a next email out to your patient base and ask them how you can even better serve them. It doesn't come across salesy, and basically what it does is it gives you ideas on what maybe ancillary or supplemental services, or maybe they're just going to come across and say, hey, if you can open till 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, just move your closing and opening hours a different way. If you were to ask your patients what they want, you will be surprised on some of the ideas that doesn't even cost you any money. And if you just turn those ideas on that they've given to you after just asking them, you will make more money in your practice. Just that one idea. It costs you nothing, but it will give you a return that it will just drive you crazy. It'll just go off the charts. And that's the last thing that I wanted to mention to everybody.
All right. Well, we see Bruce's information up here if you're interested in having a chat with Bruce about the type of services that he can offer to help you grow your business. Please visit crush5media.com, and you can go on there and connect with Bruce, and I'm sure he'd be happy to chat with you and see how he can help you. Bruce, do you have something else?
Yeah, Dr. Randi, let me change that a little bit as far as how to contact me. You can go to Bruce, B-R-U-C-E, at crush5media.com. Let me repeat one more time. Bruce, B-R-U-C-E, at C-R-U-S-H, the number 5.com. Bruce at crush5media.com, and that's how you get through directly to me.
Okay. Well, while Dr. Allen brings up our slides to close us out today, I want to thank Bruce for being here with us today. Some great tips. And you know what, I always find a lot of things that, or not a lot, but many of the things that our guests often talk about are things that sometimes we know and we forgot and we haven't used in a while, and then you just go, oh my God, why don't I do that anymore? You know, so take advantage of these tips. You know, we've taken the time to bring you this program because we want you to be successful. We really do. We want everybody to be successful. And, you know, there's a lot of information, and we try and pull it to you for you here so you can get it all in one place every week and really learn some great business and marketing tools and take your business to that next level and kind of give you a little kick in the rear and get you started for those of you that get lazy from time to time. We also want to remind you that we are kicking off our registration for Community Wellness Day. We have done the plan for you, so you don't even have to figure out the plan. Step-by-step directions show you how to host an amazing community health program, build relationships, so you get, you know, all the people in your community to trust you, to know you, and to want to do business with you. I'm going to throw it over to Dr. Allen to close us out till next week.
Well, you've been listening to Building Your Wellness Brand Within Your Community. Today's episode was brought to you by Epic Consulting, making sure your electronic presence is all it needs to be. Community Wellness Day, every great opportunity begins with the first step. Take that step with Community Wellness Day. The System, the official marketing program of healthcare practitioners everywhere, and the VIP app, the only applications that allow you to bring your live hangouts, just like this one, to the smartphones, tablets, and desktops of people that have you in their circles. On behalf of myself, Dr. Alan Weinstein, my co-host, Dr. Randi Ross, we'll see you again next week.
Bye, everyone.